Hi, this is Sunshadow Tarot, and today I'm going to talk about tarot readings and tarot readers in general. There has been some talk that I've seen in the tarot community that, you should give up on tarot readings. Tarot does not work. Divination doesn't work. And I'm going to try to explain how and why you can make this work better for you in the 21st century, how tarot readings are relevant to you and what you need to watch out for, and just how you can get the best experience out of all your psychic readings. I just want to warn you, I'm going to be very blunt. I'm not going to hold back. The first thing we're going to talk about when it comes to tarot readings is the entertainment clause. Now, this is a reality check, okay? Every good tarot reader, every good psychic, every good astrologer, particularly those operating out of the city of New York, where this is mandatory, should be disclosing that all tarot readings and all psychic readings are for entertainment purposes only. Now, why is that? Because in past history, and even to this day, there are some manipulative people who only think of themselves and don't have anyone else's best interests at heart but themselves. New York City, in particular, in its history with its many storefront psychics, had a crime spree of psychic fraud and thievery. And they had to impose laws to stop people from getting ripped off. So it's perfectly, legit that this is there. So you operate out of New York, you have to disclose that this is for entertainment purposes only, just so people understand what is going on. Now, these people who were doing this fraud, they will tell you, or they would lead you to believe, that you are living under a curse or some kind of bad magic or karma that only they can change or remove. They will suck you into an endless downward spiral of paying them more and more over a long course of time until you are broke. They don't like you to talk to anybody else. They don't like you to get anybody else's opinion. They want you completely desperate, and they want you addicted to following what they say and getting their approval. There are people, these people, who are unscrupulous, and they have absolutely no problem doing this, and you can find a lot of them online. Many of them are working from countries or states where they have no such protection laws. They don't require any kind of disclaimer. They have no problem with convincing you that you are under a curse or some kind of such thing. And they sleep, believe me, they sleep very well at night after trying to ruin your self-esteem and taking all your money. It's like having your own private toxic relationship with your own private cult reader. And this is a terrible situation for you, the consumer, and horrible for readers who legitimately want to give uplifting and positive tarot or psychic readings to people. So please be very aware that these dangerous people are still out there and you are their target. The internet in particular is still the Wild West when it comes to this. The second thing I want to talk about is something that I call doom tarot. And it's a lot like something called doom scrolling. And I'll explain doom scrolling. Doom scrolling is where you look at news articles or Facebook posts, forum posts, YouTube videos, and tweets where it's just bad news. And you go down a rabbit hole of negativity. And the algorithms of all social media, because they love that kind of behavior, will keep feeding you and feeding you and feeding you more and more bad news and more negativity, and whip you up into, you will whip yourself up into this frenzy where nothing is good in the world. you convince yourself it's the end of the world. Everything is against you. You feel absolutely terrible about yourself, your relationships, your job, your family, your friends, everything. Now, there are tarot readers and psychics that do their own version of this. They understand that you are looking at tarot readings maybe when you're not feeling good, or maybe things haven't worked out very well for you. You might have lost your job, you got dumped in a relationship, your significant other cheated on you, specifically relationships where you are in a state of mind that you want that ex back. No matter how lousy and mean that ex was to you, there are tarot readers that are feeding your immediate desperation in the moment that, oh, they're coming back. Oh, you'll get back together with your crappy boyfriend. That's what they're pushing. I'm going to tell you, as a tarot reader who's 61 years old, and I've seen a bit of this, that is manipulative. Maybe I have to be your psychic auntie, right now, but I'm telling you, don't let people do this to you. Don't let people make you feel bad about yourself. I don't care how pretty their voice is. I don't care how pretty or aesthetic their sets are, or how many fancy tarot decks they own. That doesn't make it any better for you as a human being getting a tarot reading. Now, every tarot reading, or not every tarot reading or every YouTube video, is going to be happy, flappy rainbows and unicorns. Don't expect that. We as tarot readers, we see negative tarot readings or controversial tarot readings all the time. That is to be expected. And if you see it, generally that's what you're going to talk about. But if you start to notice that the majority of what someone is promoting is negative or demeaning, run the other way. Find a different tarot reader. It does not have to be me. In fact, I encourage you, as a consumer of tarot readings, if you like tarot readings, to find 2 or 3 tarot readers that you really like. Get another opinion. Get another viewpoint that's healthy, that's entertaining, that's thought-provoking. That's what we're all here for. Now, further on, tarot readers and tarot readings. There are some very good tarot readers on YouTube, Twitch, Fiverr, online, and I encourage you to find them. Watch their videos, look at what they have to offer, and maybe even pay them for a private reading yourself. Again, find 2 or 3 people and get a wider view of what kind of tarot readings are out there. Going back to the idea I was talking about, doom tarot. I've seen a lot of people do this, and as people who want a tarot reading. And I did this when I was younger. I did this to myself, okay? I wanted the tarot to tell me a certain thing. I wasn't satisfied with what the tarot was telling me. I kept doing, this is when I was younger, I kept doing spread after spread after spread until I somehow, in my convoluted, desperate mind, got the tarot reading that I wanted at that minute. So if I wanted tarot to tell me that somebody loved me, even if they didn't, I would sit up all night doing reading after reading until it came up that maybe there was some kind of a glimmer of hope that this person loved me or noticed me or whatever. Tarot readers can fool themselves, believe me, especially young tarot readers or novice tarot readers. People seeking tarot readings can fool themselves too. I know there's a certain section of people who will watch reading after reading, going from tarot reader to tarot reader, astrologer to astrologer, until someone says the magic words that they want to hear at that moment. And if the next day the tarot reader or astrologer isn't saying those pretty words anymore, they move on. These people are not using tarot or any divination the best way possible because they're not open to whatever energy is coming through. They are not taking advantage of the skill of the reader, the astrologer, the divinator, etc. They are just addicted to a particular result and a particular outcome and a particular message. So that's not magic. That's not divination. That's not tarot. That's not astrology. What that is fooling yourself. So pick up the Fool card and stare at it, because that's where you are on your tarot journey if that's what you're doing. Nobody wants to be the fool or play the fool in that aspect. So tarot readings are not going to work for you if that is what's going on. Now, I've seen some tarot readers that are really great and some that are not so great. On the extreme end, I just want to tell you something. On the extreme end, a long time ago, I was watching tarot reading videos. And I don't remember who this was. For the life of me, I don't. I'm being very honest with you. But I saw some woman doing tarot reading. And she spoke so fast, it made my head spin. She sounded like a cross between an auctioneer and a carpetbagging preacher. And she was flashing the cards around like a stage magician. She did not want you to keep track of what she was saying or doing, and literally my jaw dropped after watching this lady do her little prestidigitation act. Maybe she belonged in Vegas, but I'm not so sure that she should have been doing tarot readings. On the lesser extreme, I see a number of tarot readers do something, but I'm not actually sure it's reading. So let me give you an example. Suppose you wanted to read a sentence. It was a dark and stormy night. That was a sentence you wanted to read, right? And I said to you, I will read that sentence to you. I'll read that sentence to you, okay? And I loudly and clearly and with much expression and with much enthusiasm, I pronounced each and every letter one by one. So in the sentences, it was a dark and stormy night, and I said, the letter I. I is the 9th letter of the alphabet, and it is also a word by itself. It is found at the beginning and in middle of many, many important words. And then I gave a similar description for each and every letter in the sentence that followed afterwards. I said T, and I gave the description. I said W, and I gave the description. I said A, and I gave the description, and on and on. Now, maybe if you were really good at concentrating, or you were determined and prepared to write down each and every letter in order, eventually you would conclude that the sentence actually said it was a dark and stormy night. Eventually. Maybe. So I have to ask you, is stating each and every letter of a sentence and its description a very efficient way of reading? Would you consider that reading at all? So this is what a surprisingly very large percentage of tarot readers are doing. They show you each and every tarot card, one by one, giving you a description of the card, its associations, maybe even its historical significance, but they don't actually read the tarot spread. Let me be clear. I'm not talking about one-card readings, which are a completely different animal. I'm talking about multi-card readings. Now, I'm sure that if any tarot card readers are listening to this, I just probably ruffled a few feathers because I just called them out. And how dare I do that, because everybody's methods are different. But again, I'm stating this information to the consumer of tarot card readings so they understand what is happening. Now, I'm also very, very aware that there are many young, inexperienced, or novice readers who did not go through the type of education and exposure that I went through over the years, and maybe this is the way they were taught, and they're completely ignorant that there is a difference. But there is a difference, and there's a very important difference between a slideshow of tarot cards and a reading of a tarot spread. In the first one, you're just flashing cards, and in the latter, you are actually reading each card and connecting them in context with the other cards and the question that's being asked. I don't want to discourage anybody out there who is a novice tarot reader or just didn't know. We can always learn something, and we can always get better. So if you are studying the tarot or you were not taught this, I hope learning this helps you out. So back to our example of reading a sentence. One is a series of disconnected letters, and the other uses letters to form words, which form a sentence, which has a meaning on its own. And then if you string those sentences together, you have an essay or a speech or a book. And that's a very clear distinction between those concepts. So as a consumer of tarot readings, you should expect and demand that your tarot readers are actually reading the tarot spreads and not simply reciting the cards. There are a lot of different moving parts to a tarot reading, and I assure you that you can get an excellent reading as long as you are sincere in your question and the reader is sincere in the reading. The reader does not have to be the flashiest, most knowledgeable, smoothest, most experienced reader. If they really try and they do their best and they have their full attention on what they're doing, you will get a very clear tarot reading. The interpretation part of it is a little trickier. Yes, experience comes in handy sometimes. However, also, experience could cloud things if there's a tarot reader who thinks they've seen it all and they know it all and they've closed themselves off, then you're not going to get a good interpretation. But generally, experience helps. They are able to make connections between various cards because of their extensive history with readings and with people. But again, sometimes a fresh mind can see things in fresh and unique ways. So you cannot rule that out. So I hope that these few points helps you when you watch tarot readings or when you purchase tarot readings, that you're getting the highest quality experience that you can. It's not that divination doesn't work, but you have to have the right frame of mind going in, and your expectations of yourself and the reader need to be the best that they can be. In this way, you're going to have a more consistent and more satisfactory tarot reading and tarot experience. I want to thank you for listening. Please, if you feel generous, I would love it if you would like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Share it with your friends. That would be an excellent thing. Thank you again. Again, I say this with the best of intentions, and I hope this helps tarot readers who are trying to be better, and I hope it helps you if you are a consumer of tarot and psychic readings. Have an excellent day.